Conference 2017 here at the Dubai International Marine Club, and I'm very happy that Hans Christensen is sitting here next to me. He's the director at Dtec, the Dubai Technology Entrepreneur Center. Hans, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us, what does the Dtec do? What is it?
Dtec is the largest tech co-working space in the MENA region today. And we have grown to this size over the past 2 years. What we do is it's basically a place for entrepreneurs to start very inexpensively their business, their tech business, and it's mainly software and web design companies that are with us today and blockchain companies.
How many have you got?
About 700.
700.
We crossed the 700 mark just last week.
Oh, congratulations.
So we're very happy about that. And so what do? We have about 100 events per year. So every week there's an event which caters towards helping, supporting, nourishing entrepreneurship in this region.
So who's allowed in?
Well, you need to, anyone who wants to come in needs to be vetted first. But to come into Dtec, basically you have to pay to get in, and you have to have a valid tech business plan, which is something that we are looking at. And it has to fit the activities allowed in that center. So Dtec is in a free zone, and we belong to the Dubai Silicon Oasis free zone. So we ourselves can issue the service license to the companies, and also facilitate the visas and everything.
Here at the STEP conference, we are surrounded by millions of startups, not millions, but many startups, entrepreneurs. Which one of those startups do you like best?
Right now, one of the Megatrends is blockchain. Blockchain is taking off big time, and why? Because of the government. So we're government as well, and one of our partners is Smart Dubai, and Smart Dubai is driving the blockchain project for the government of Dubai. That project says that by 2020, blockchain is going to be introduced to numerous amount of government entities to improve transparency, optimize the processes, and increase customer satisfaction.
But then how do startups get involved in this process?
That's the great thing, that this is coming from the grassroots. It's startups from around the world that are pitching blockchain, because blockchain is a technology that's very new and upcoming. So we have in our center several blockchain companies that are now pitching to the UAE government, and the UAE government is also especially open to talk to startups. Which, let's take any European country, they would say no, this is government. You need to come. You have to have a certain size to even be allowed to talk to us. It's different in the UAE. You can be a startup, but if you know what you're doing, then they will give you time and hear you out, and perhaps buy your product.
The pros and cons of entrepreneurship, especially here in the region. You just gave me a pro.
Yep.
It's easy to do business here. It's easy to approach people. The government side. What else what else makes this space here easier to navigate for startups?
So in my speech today, I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and how I'm going to pitch it today is that you are allowed to come with your moonshot idea. You can bring the craziest idea to Dubai, and here it doesn't sound so crazy. Yeah, because if you say I want to build the biggest building in the world, well, it's already here. You know, we've heard that, they've done that. Okay, you might want to help the Dubai fly to Mars, which is another project. Sounds crazy in Europe maybe, but it doesn't sound so crazy here.
Hyperloop trains, driverless taxis, it's all happening in Dubai, isn't it?
Flying cars, driverless cars, what have you. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to do something completely out of this world, Dubai is the place to go today. And you don't get stigmatized for maybe bringing a crazy idea. You're actually encouraged to do it.
But is the capital here to support these startups? And that's also why we're here, because there are a lot of investors looking for the next unicorns. So is the capital here? Are people ready to give capital to
Absolutely.
to startups?
There are some great angel networks like Venture Soup. You can crowdsource money from Eureka. There is what's it called? A lot of VCs now. More and more are coming. If you talk to lawyers here in Dubai, they will tell you that each of those lawyers group are talking to 3 or 4 venture capitals that are setting up currently. So if we look back 3-4 years, that was not the case. Now it is the case, and I think we're just reaching the pivot point where Dubai is going to be amongst the top 20 cities in the world in terms of having created an ecosystem for entrepreneurs out of scratch.
What are the biggest mistakes that startups make?
Well, they think they look at Dubai and Abu Dhabi from the internet and from films and see all these Bentleys and Ferraris driving around. But that doesn't mean you can just come here and pick up the money. No, there's fierce competition because only the best ones are the ones that are going to get through. So who's going to prevail? So there's fierce competition. Don't make any mistake about that. What else? I would say you have to work really, really hard. The lifestyle here is fantastic.
Oh, we like it here. Sunny beaches.
Yeah, you could spend all your time on the beach, but there's a lot of people who realize that to get anywhere in life, you have to work hard. And you have to do that here too.
Working hard. We make a difference here at MAD Talks. How do you make a difference?
Well, we have invested in over 20 startups already. And I think I could confidently say we have definitely made a difference in those people's lives. And also the people that we have helped in Dtec, which is over 700 startups, plus the thousands of applications that we have looked at and given us our feedback to, we help them as well. Going forward, we will help even more. We will double in size the next 2-3 years, and we will add accelerators, incubators to the whole source of what we are creating here. So as a government entity, we try to be as unbureaucratic as possible. We know we can become even less bureaucratic and simply provide these basic services that you need in order to set up your company, to get your visa and get off the ground with as little effort as possible.
Before I let you go, I want to talk to you about Denmark, your home country, and you're from Copenhagen, a place I visited. And what comes to mind when you think of Copenhagen is the many people on bicycles. If you could take parts of Copenhagen and drop them onto Dubai, what would it be from an environmental point of view?
Well, if you look at Dubai, a lot of people say, "Oh, Dubai is so hot. How can you possibly bike in Dubai?" Well, the Dubai government has made a 90-kilometer bike, what's called fast bike route already. So they're already changing the landscape. In our free zone, where we have 60 kilometers of roads that we manage, we are already implementing our new what's called step towards making it walk friendly and bike friendly. So curbstones are being cut off and so on, so you can get up and down. And
so will people be coming to work on their bicycles soon, just like in Copenhagen?
Well, I do. For one, I am biking to work because I live in the free zone, so I only have like 2-3 kilometers to work, and it works perfectly. At least 6 months during the year, 6 months of the year. But we're also building Silicon Park, which is a smart city. And this smart city will be connected in any way possible, so people from the free zone can walk to the to Silicon Park, which offers all kinds of amenities and so on, restaurants, cinemas, and whatnot, and that you can also bike to this Silicon Park.
What about the sources of energy? I mean, we're very reliant on oil and gas still in this region. What about your home country? What do you see there that maybe you can one day can be transferred here to Dubai?
I think Copenhagen is the forerunner worldwide in terms of making a city green. They have a plan for 2025 to be completely green, meaning that all the energy to run Copenhagen will be taken from sustainable sources. Now, the UAE government by 2050 has this goal as well, at least for 75% of all the energy. That's why we need all those startups that have innovative ideas in that area as well. And I think we can look toward Copenhagen and say, well, if they can do it, then we can do it too.
That's how I see it as well. Thank you so much. Hans Christensen, the director of Dtec. Thank you so much for joining us.